On today's show, what are the Sixers really going to do with Paul George and Joel Embiid? What is going on with Jared McCain's minutes? The return of platonic relationship advice, and there are calls for Chris Ryan to be banned. Quite a turn from guest host to band. We'll get into that as well. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast. Welcome, Chris. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. I know it'd been like 7 or 8 years since you were on the pod, but you might be banned now.
No, he's been on before then. He's been on pretty recently.
It's been a while.
I thought I had talked to him before. I thought him and me did it together one time, maybe when you were gone.
Maybe
I just tried to. I don't remember.
Yeah, he did live Ricky with us once with one of your longest bits of all time. I don't know if you remember that.
That was quite long.
Yeah.
Sometimes the games, you got to monitor the games.
Yeah.
Watch for the games. Games can extend.
They can. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Sign up for DraftKings Sportsbook by using promo code RTRS. Brought to you by MortgageCS. Become a MortgageCS Ricky VIP at MortgageCS.com/Ricky. Anthony Degli Obizzi, the official financial planner of the Ricky. Text the word Ricky to 484-471-4873. Kornblau Law, the official law firm of the Ricky. And Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka, the official canned cocktail of the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast. Fly the Process, New Orleans, February 20th to 23rd. We go with fans of Philly. It's going to be a great trip. We are most likely going to see a competitive basketball team. And if you've watched any videos of the Pelicans games, boy, you're going to be able to hear us on the broadcast because there's not a lot of people there. I'll get to see Derek Queen, right? The Danny's own Derek Queen. And sign up soon because we're going to get the info out to everybody, but we're going to be doing a live podcast at Preservation Hall, the legendary small jazz venue in New Orleans on that Sunday morning, which is going to be really, really, really neat. If you've ever been there, if you haven't, you should look it up. Sign up for Fly the Process at rightstrickysanchez.com/fly. You can get your deposit for $150. Get you in there, or if you need a custom package, if you're not coming from Philly, if you're coming from a different place, if you're already in New Orleans, you can just get a game and party package as well. Send an email to joe@fansofphilly.com. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka is the official canned cocktail of the Ricky. Why? Well, we've been with Surfside since not their very beginning, but very, very close. Since it was before Surfside, since there was before the vodka sodas, when it was just stateside, the vodka. But now they have these wonderful Surfsides. Oh my goodness. Only 2 grams of sugar, only 100 calories. You see it everywhere because the logo is fucking banging. But you know what else is banging? The actual drink itself. It's just lightly sweet. There's so many varieties, something for everyone, as they like to say. Iced tea and vodka, strawberry lemonade and vodka, just lemonade and vodka, whatever you want. Get it wherever to get your canned cocktails. If you can't find it somewhere, or if you want to get some of their merch, just want to look at the website, go to drinksurfside.com. You got to be 21. Please enjoy it responsibly. Without any further ado, Amos and the chef.
We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We was right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We were right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. Say the name.
Welcome to the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast. I'm Spike Eskin, along with a guy coming off of hosting spectacular. That's right. That is one Mike Levin.
Here we go. I got
Yes.
my mini basketball in my office. There's a basketball net up there that we hung.
There you go.
We're really in prime real estate here.
Yeah.
On the studio lot for the rest of the weekday pods. Pretty much for the rest of the season.
Is there I would imagine it's quiet where you are because there's probably a giant party somewhere to watch the NBA Cup games as everyone does, sort of like the Super Bowl or whatever. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cup going wild outside. If you hear some like honking and stuff, everyone's gonna just like saying cup, spelling out cup in Morse code with their car horns. Yeah.
The cup. You know, it's weird. So I was off on Sunday as I went to. Thank you, Chris Ryan, for filling in. Thank you, Mike, for leading the show. I was off. I went to my wife's work's Christmas party, and it seems like. Let me know if you think this. If you feel like this when you miss one pod. When you do every pod, it seems like you're always doing a podcast. When you miss one pod, it seems like you haven't done a podcast in forever.
That's right.
Does that sound about right?
Yeah. It's people go, how in the world do you do 2 podcasts a week about the Sixers?
Yes.
And then especially in the off season, how could you possibly do it? Don't you run out of things to say? And then you miss one podcast and you're like, I have so many things that will never be heard by the human mind because I missed it. So now it's gone.
Yeah.
And there's that.
Yeah.
I don't know how it happens.
So I thought it was a timely article from Mike O'Connor this past week, writing just sort of the recalculation that the Sixers must do now, given where Tyrese Maxey is, as he has ascended to a place that we probably didn't expect in terms of just how good he is, and then the reality of where Embiid is right now.
Which rules, by the way. It rules that Maxey has gotten as good as he has.
Yes.
Gonna be an all-star this year. Will make, a lot of season left, but will probably is on pace to make, let's say, an all-NBA team.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's wild.
It's a good problem to have.
I think we were early on seeing how good he was. But I think both of us were pretty, let's say tepid on him ever becoming the best player on like a playoff team.
I was totally wrong.
Or like some sort of contender. He has just continued to improve. And so I don't want to put a ceiling on him. I don't want to say there's things that he's not going to get better at. I talked to Chris last podcast about passing being the next frontier for Maxey and starting to really manipulate the defense with his passes. There's still times when he gets like boxed in on that driving right into that mid-range area. Like there's 3 guys around him. Find the open guy. Can you diagnose that quicker? Can you drive knowing that it's going to draw somebody in and then you're going to pass it and then that's an easy open shot or an easy dunk at the rim? Like I want to see more of that. I want to see some of that Trae Young stuff, some of that Dame stuff when he was in his prime, like rolling stuff. But how much his shooting and defense has improved? I'm certainly not going to say that he can't do it because he's been excellent and he's a great, like incredibly high character player, the exact kind of person you'd want to be the lead of your franchise.
Absolutely. And to get him at 21, right? That's where we picked him at 21.
Thank you, Mike Muscala, my dog.
Thank you, Mike Muscala. And just to double down on what you said, every year, I think we've been blown away by how he's improved. Last year is the exception because it didn't happen.
But defense, that's what I was clinging to that. Yeah,
sure. But like, in no way did I foresee him getting to this point. Like, I could see him having a game like he has had this year, a big game, but in no way the consistent performer he's been. And I don't think it should be forgotten that it didn't work out the why he did it, but him foregoing signing the extension when he did to give the organization the ability to go out and sign Paul George when they did, because the only way that was going to happen, there's just not a lot of...
Maxey waited so that there was cap space available, because you need the cap space to go sign somebody outside your organization, but you can go over the cap to sign your own player.
Yes. So him doing that is... I don't know how much precedent there is to that, right? Like, so from a team standpoint, him doing that, because he deserved it. He could have demanded it and gotten it when he could have put them in a bad position, and he didn't. So I think the team, I don't think the team will ever forget that he did that, even though it didn't work out. Yep. But his ascension to that
didn't work out yet.
Yes, right. So his ascension, though, has to have them reframe the Embiid thing, especially given that it seems fairly certain that Joel is not getting back to pre-injury levels. I would not put any money on him playing for an extended period of time, but even his effectiveness, it is the longest of long shots. And, I was telling AU, I'm gonna write something just sort of about I'm in the process of mourning the Embiid era now. So when all that stuff actually happens, I'll probably be more able to like talk about what choices they're actually making. All that is to say that I think it was MOC who said this over text to me before he even wrote this. He was just like, Maxey's in his prime now. So like the whole thing about letting the Embiid thing just play itself out and expire, you can't do that when you have a player of Maxey's level. You just can't, or it would not be optimal. So Mike wrote an article at writesrickysanchez.com, which you can just subscribe to get them all emailed to you. And we will have the replacement of the Danny announced very soon as well. How Tyrese Maxey's ascendance should change the Sixers' long-term plans. Essentially, he breaks it down into 3 different categories. Category 1, stay the course this season while planning to open up flexibility in the offseason. Now, the issue with how he lays this one out is that it involves trading Paul George and then stretching Embiid after a year. Issue is you can't waive and stretch Embiid until after 27. So he didn't know that when he first wrote that, but that's option 1. Option 2 is just keep them both on the roster and grind your way through until like either they're expiring or they do expire, 28 and 29, 28 for Paul George, 29 for Joel Embiid. Yeah. And then the third one is trade Embiid at the deadline in a win now move and worry about Paul George later. And he gives a couple of examples here. Just I don't think they're all complete. Like just to throw out what he's talking about, some of the names he mentions, Zach LaVine, Zion Williamson, I think is a no. Anthony Davis. He has one that is Embiid, McCain, the 2031 first for Sabonis and Schroeder. He has Embiid, Grimes, Oubre, and a first for Michael Porter Jr. and Nick Claxton. I don't think that's enough, just for what it's worth. And then he has a 3-team trade, bringing back Kawhi Leonard and Miles Turner. Now, all of
you can
these,
hear that we're in the weird overpaid guys, right? Where
yes.
It's like you're injured, you're always injured, you always have something going on that makes it weird. You were just overpaid because of one thing, and now you've been traded to a different team, and you're just kind of sitting there. With Sabonis is the most, let's say, normal player.
He plays every game. He's got a couple of elite skills, even though he is specifically flawed.
Yeah, and it's, you're not going to get the rim protection you need from that guy. Obviously, you're not going to get the floor stretching you would like to have from a guy that doesn't protect the rim, but he's going to rebound the fuck out of the ball. He's going to screen like hell. He's going to defer to guards. I think of all of those things, the Sabonis one is the most interesting to me.
Well, so let me ask you this, is like, of the 3, are you at the point where, okay, we got to pay picks to get off of Joel Embiid and bring us a player back? And I think you mentioned the Sabonis one. Like, you're making a move at that point that it really is questionable whether you're a championship contender. What you know is you have a really good team. You have a good team that is going to compete. They're all going to play in the games. Maybe you have Maxey continue to grow, Edgecombe grow, and like, the Sabonis thing holds you over until you're able to sort of, get to another point. Maybe you make a run, maybe you don't.
Yeah, I mean, Maxey has taken a leap, and so that changes the we need a number 1, we need a number 2, that kind of thing. Like it reorders things for you. So if Sabonis can be if Paul George is still here, I really want Paul to just become. I'm so fine with the player he is now, right? I'm not expecting him to be 25, 6 and 6. Like I don't. No one has those expectations. I just want him to be the player that he is now, but for like 60 games a year.
Yeah.
Because I think that guy's very valuable. That guy's very useful.
Yeah.
I just wanted to play. And it's like, hey, man, we already kind of have a weirdly older guy that's out a lot. Like, we already have that, and we're more attached to him emotionally. We're not asking you to return on investment of your salary. That's gone. That's way gone. You've been paid that money, and the checks are going to clear. But just like play. Just play and be the B+ that you are as like a elevated role player. And so I'm a little bit like it's just sort of in the box to check of disappointing older guys. We got to have one that doesn't play and one that does.
Right. Yeah. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast brought to you by MortgageCS. We love MortgageCS. They are a great partner to Ricky because they've been a great partner to so many of you who have used MortgageCS. MortgageCS is an independent mortgage broker who has helped me with my mortgage for this house, helped so many of our listeners. It's just a different experience. I've said this about MortgageCS 100 times, but I can't say it enough. Whatever experience you've had from a mortgage broker, even if you thought they were good, it's not like MortgageCS. They're not responsive like MortgageCS. They're not informative like MortgageCS. They're not going to sit on the phone with you for 35 minutes, whether it be an evening or a weekend or whenever it is, talking you through when to lock your rate, when not to lock your rate, like, what might help you bidding for the home. This is what Alec and Ben and his team are all about. I mentioned independent. You don't have to worry about them having a deal with a bank that might make them, push you one way rather than another because it benefits them. They're there to inform you. They're there to help you, and they're there to get you across the finish line. Refinances. I've mentioned this. Now is a really, really good time to refinance. Don't wait and see if it might drop lower. If your mortgage rate starts with a 7, you should probably reach out to MortgageCS about refinancing. If you're thinking about buying a home in 2026, reach out to MortgageCS now. The earlier that you can connect with them, get them all the information that they need so they can get you that pre-qualification letter exactly when you need it. And, I'm in Jersey. A lot of our listeners in PA. MortgageCS licensed in 12 states. That's right. Florida, Virginia, Maryland, South Carolina, D.C., Massachusetts, PA, New Jersey, Delaware. So we have listeners all over the place, and MortgageCS can help them. Can help you. I'm going to give you Ben, the CEO's cell phone number. You can call him or text him whenever you want. He will. It's actually kind of shocking how quickly he will get back to you, no matter what time, no matter what day. Ben's cell is 267-391-7425. That is 267-391-7425. You can go to mortgagecs.com/Ricky. You can learn all about him there, set up a conversation there if you want. Just the best. Love him to death. mortgagecs.com/Ricky. This advertisement is not a commitment to lend or extend credit. MortgageCS is an equal housing opportunity mortgage broker. All loans are subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply. Company NMLS 1464766. Visit mortgagecs.com/Ricky for more information. Quick question, just to follow up on all of that. How many, I would think that they can get through this year without making one of those deals.
Yeah.
I think, I don't think it gets uncomfortable for you this season. I do think it gets uncomfortable for you next season. And I'm wondering where you are at in terms of timing, if it is something where you think they have a couple years they can mess around with this, or is this something that by next season you're going to need to see some resolve on, you think, for the organization not to be in a weird spot?
I'm not sure. I mean, they're going to have free agents this offseason are going to be Grimes, Oubre, Drummond. Assuming Drummond is gone, you can probably assume Oubre is gone, even though he's been great here and they do miss him right now. Grimes is the question mark of which I went on record a lot over the offseason as I was complaining a ton that they weren't coming to an agreement with him when he signed the qualifying offer of has anyone ever signed the qualifying offer after a contentious negotiation and then stayed?
Yeah.
He seems to be one of my biggest concerns was that he was going to be moping and not part of the team. That has proven to be completely wrong. He's been
playing great.
Playing very well. He's not a perfect player by any means, but he's absolutely helped, and he's been part of the squad and doing great. And so that is one concern alleviated of mine for sure. I wonder if he decides hey, I don't want to be there. because of VJ's being a starter and Maxey obviously being the lead. Maybe he thinks someone else is going to give him a contract, even if you saw with the Phillies, Schwarber just signed kind of the same contract that other teams were offering, and because he wanted to stay. I wonder if it's the reverse with Grimes, where other teams are offering the same thing, and he goes, I don't want to be here because I see more opportunity there. Whereas if you locked him in, he would have just been like, okay, I've locked him in this contract. Anyway, who knows? But the reason why an in-season trade is tougher is just because like those numbers, those Paul George numbers, look a lot friendlier when it's like, oh, he expires after this, next season rather than 3. And so I would say, on the one hand, I am skeptical that anything would happen this year with either of those guys. One of which being the thing with Embiid and the stretch provision. The other, and also I just think with Daryl, he will. Obviously, the idea that Embiid is ever going to look like his former self is pipe dreamy right now. But I bet Daryl still thinks the idea of Embiid looking like himself eventually and being healthy at the right time is still I don't know, I'm speculating, is still of the minuscule percent chances, because he has done it before, Joel, and been a top 3 player in the league. That's still a higher championship equity than
going out and getting somebody else.
Other versions of that. Yeah,
right.
Exactly. And I think that's maybe too binary a way to think about it, but I think I'm speculating. Maybe what Daryl thinks. With the Paul George thing of trading him this season, and I still think that in the offseason is more realistic, and this season you're just like, hey, last season was bad. Let's just like have a fun season. The team is fun. Maybe you can tinker. Maybe they duck the fucking tax like losers. But let's just see. Let's do one full season and see, and we'll go from there. The alternative argument is that the East is open.
Right.
And maybe that's not the case next season. Maybe Detroit makes a move that makes them a powerhouse. Maybe the Knicks make a move that make them a powerhouse. Obviously, there's good teams in the East, but there's not anyone that you're like, oh, if we got X superstar and mortgaged our future for that person and paired them with Maxey, then we're so scared of this team. So I can see Daryl going, it's open. I'm going to strike while the iron's hot and make a big ballsy move where you trade either Joel or Paul George and 2 picks and maybe McCain for this one guy that we think can help them now and in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very interested to see how the Embiid thing plays out in terms of the conversation around it, not from fans or whatever, but like when the leak comes out, the Sixers are ready to or Joel Embiid has expressed unhappiness, in terms of like what Daryl thinks, I don't know. I can tell you, and you had brought this up previously, there may be a moment where ownership says, we don't want the drag of this, because we have our Ricky people, which is one set of people. I do have the experience of like dealing with the regular people sometimes, like the non-lunatics with IP. And I can tell you that the Embiid thing is just, I don't mean this, is just like a dark cloud that anytime they lose a game, it ends, whether it's about him or not,
right?
They start thinking about it. And it's
because he's such a big fucking part of this salary cap, whether he plays and he looks like, he shoots 4 of 21, or he doesn't play and he's just fucking sitting there and they could use that money elsewhere. Like the problem is like they gave him the contract and that was a mistake.
It's like where the Ryan Howard contract was.
It's the Ryan Howard. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're just like, except baseball is not salary capped,
not capped
and hard capped in a way that we are here. So, it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks, and it's a sucky way to feel like the rest of Joel's career is going to play out until they either trade him or he does a medical retirement or whatever. I don't know. I don't know where we are with that. If you could just play the Joel Embiid career retrospective video that'll air in 10 years or whatever, then we can go, oh, now I know what part of the doc we're at, and we can know. But I think I've said this before, and it seems like obviously less and less realistic. But in a world where you trade Joel Embiid and then he like figures out the medical thing and then he's dominating for somebody else, I mean, I'd be happy to see it for him personally because his body's been through so much. Maybe some Sixers fans wouldn't. Maybe they're just fucking tired of it and want him off the team and don't care what he does. He can go rot in hell. But I don't feel that way. But it would a little bit suck if you're like,
oh yeah,
at the last second, we've been holding out this guy for a long time, and then he just goes and plays 55 games for another team, and they've monitored his minutes or figured out the medical, or he became on board with them, like and agreeing to like more open communication or whatever, and it doesn't feel as dark cloudy. That would be like a really tough pill to swallow. I don't know that I'm mature enough to handle that.
The risk of that or the reality of that?
Both.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not mature enough to be like, hey, that's the risk. It's maybe a 1% chance of happening, but okay. Or the reality of it did happen, and I have to be like, okay, our process was sound, and his body got the right cocktail of drugs and medic treatment and whatever the fuck, and good for him playing well on pick a team. I don't know. That would be hard.
Yeah, the Sacramento Kings, and we're here.
No, it definitely wouldn't happen on the Kings. That's something I can be
Yeah.
pretty sure of.
Phoenix.
If they trade him to the Kings, it would not work. I mean, like the Nets, maybe.
Right. Yeah. Well, and just to clarify, if I wasn't clear, I mean there might be a time where it's not Daryl's choice anymore. Ownership says, we want the good vibes of building around Tyrese Maxey. This minuscule shot of winning a championship either way is not worth the drag that this is. Every time our ticket sales people call somebody, they ask when we're going to trade Joel. Like, just fucking do it, you know?
Yeah. And the like VJ improving, and he's obviously had an incredible first couple weeks of the season and has sort of settled into just being like a very exciting rookie that can contribute now as a role player, and then has flashes of like, whoa, what if that turns into something else? And if I asked Chris, VJ Edgecombe 1.5 All-Star games, he took the over. Where are you at on that?
Yeah, I think he'll make a couple All-Star games. I could foresee a Drew Holiday level career or whatever, which ends up being, something like that. I could also foresee him making 8 All-Star games, but I think a normal, if you were to ask me over under 1.5, I'd say over.
Yeah.
What would you say?
I mean, he's certainly popped. It's hard to do. It's easy to be like, hey, my natural athleticism and some smoothness to my game, and a system maybe where I get to be the second guy, or a third guy, or fourth guy, which he is right now. I can look good in flashes. It's hard to put that all together and then become, a version of whatever Anthony Edwards is, like on that trajectory when you're on that path, right? If he's more Drew Holiday, then you got to have a really special winning type of career to become like a Drew Holiday type of all-star. And I don't know that. I mean, maybe Maxey's gotten good enough where if VJ's prime Drew Holiday next season or in 2 seasons, then that becomes interesting. They become an interesting team, but I don't know if that's like, that changes your championship quality. That you might need him to get further onto the Anthony Edwards type track where you're like, oh, Maxey and Edgecombe are like, they're going to be on Wheaties boxes, and those are your guys that can like storm through the East or something like that. You need VJ to take like leap after leap to get there. Yeah. And so I think it's kind of hard. I might, just to protect my sanity and expectations, because I've been hurt so many times before, I might say under on 1.5 All-Star games for VJ.
Just for sanity, and
I think I'm.
Well, making All-Star games is hard. Like we act like making a bunch of, it's fucking 12 players in each conference. So, all right, the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast brought to you by Anthony Degli Obizzi, the official financial planner of the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast. I have personal experience, but like when we talk about our partners, I work with this guy. Like I know, it's not like at my job or anything, but he handles my financial future. I trust Anthony. Anthony works at Monastra Financial Group in Delco. If you want to set up a consultation, let me just give you the number first. Just text the word Ricky to 484-471-4873. That's Ricky to 484-471-4873. Doesn't cost you anything, right? So when I talk about financial planner, that sounds like official, sounds like you're like, I don't have enough money to have a financial planner. The truth is that you should always be planning for your future. If you need somebody to help you figure out how to roll over your 401k, you just, switch jobs or something. You want to figure out how much to put away every month for retirement and where to put that money. You want that, but you also want to be able to buy a house in 10 years. So you need a separate bucket for that. But you also want life insurance. So you need a separate bucket for that. Anthony figures it all out. Me, I'm a moron. I don't know how to do the money stuff. Anthony knows how to do the money stuff. Our conversation the first time, he just finds out what I have, what I make, what my plans are, and how aggressive I want to be. And then he takes it from there. We check in quarterly. If I have any question at any time, he's right there to give me an answer. Has been, my wife has changed jobs a couple of times. He's helped with that 401k stuff. And I just feel confident that this guy has my back and he's going to take this overwhelming thing that feels like it's so overwhelming, you don't even want to deal with it, and let him do it. Like, you can't be too young, you can't be too old. You feel like you waited too long, you're wrong. I didn't start this until 10 years ago. If you think you're too young, you're not making enough, you're 23 years old, you barely have enough money to pay your rent, I'm telling you, it's worth reaching out. And if you're a company that needs a 401k administrator, Anthony can do that too. Again, send the word Ricky to 484-471-4873. That is Anthony Degli Obizzi, the official financial planner of the Ricky.
And he will share Spike's financial information with you.
He will.
Is something he said.
He will. Yeah, they'll send you a PDF with every dollar I have and where it is.
Here it is. Here's Spike's banking information.
Yes. I have teased a jigsaw from a rabbi we got, and we're finally going to get to it.
Play.
I will play this game.
Game we play.
I will play this game.
I miss you.
I will play this game.
I'm worried. Play.
I will play this game.
And after the game, they were interviewing him, and they said, how does it feel to win the ultimate game? And he said, if it's the ultimate game, why are they playing it again next year?
CJ, do we get the copyright strike from the Jigsaw? I don't think we normally do we?
I was just thinking about that. I don't think so. Definitely Eliza, but not this.
Yeah. All right. If we do, we might have to get rid of that too. In any case, Jigsaw is really just would you rather in the worst possible scenarios. We got this from Noah, who is a rabbi. He says, hey, Mike, Spike, Mike, CJ, Daryl, Jigsaw for you. For the rest of your life, every time you eat ice cream, which for the sake of this exercise, you're required to eat at the same regularity you normally would, and let's assume any lactose intolerance isn't a factor, Mike.
Thank you.
Yep. Option one. It has to be hard ice cream, but one bite of it is going to have a little piece of duty in it, and you'll unavoidably...
What does hard ice cream mean?
Like not soft serve.
Okay.
Like hand-dipped kind of ice cream. Yeah.
Okay.
It has to be hard ice cream. One bite of it's going to have a little piece of duty in it, and you unavoidably will eat that bite.
Okay.
Option B, it has to be soft serve, and even though it tastes mostly normal, every batch you are served has absolutely been pissed in. And while it doesn't taste bad per se, you can tell something's up. To answer some questions, in option A, no, you can't see it coming, so you can't brace yourself. You can't stop eating early either. If you try to only take one bite, that'll be the duty bite. In option B, no, you don't know whose piss it is. Could be asparagus pee, could be meth head pee. Sometimes it'll be worse, sometimes milder because they're better hydrated or whatever. So which ice cream are you eating for the rest of your life, Mike?
Well, so I have a dog now, and
Yes.
I now assume that all of my food probably has some specks of shit in it.
That's a good thing to figure because that's their deal,
Yeah, we're wiping him down. We got little gloves that we wipe his feet down with, so he's not doing over
But
this
still.
all over the but it's everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think like pee is probably fine.
Yes.
You could probably just have pee and be fine. But like
Yes.
if you're having a daily dose of duty,
Yeah.
that is gonna do some damage to your insides.
And, the other thing is, okay, here's let me give you a counter. I generally agree, but let me play devil's advocate here for a second. If you're eating the pea ice cream, all the ice cream is ruined. Whereas when you have the little piece of duty ice cream,
no.
most of the maybe your first bite is duty, and then you're good for
You're never enjoying it. You're never enjoying yourself.
Okay.
You're never enjoying yourself. Wait, can I don't think you answered. Would
What?
you do this MOC trade of Embiid, McCain, and the 2031 first for Sabonis and Schroeder?
The McCain thing's really crushing me, man.
Sure. The McCain thing is in like how he's not playing that much, or just
No,
or
we'll get to that in
including
a
him this
second.
trade?
No, just including him
Yeah,
is tough. I'd rather give another first. If you'd let me do that, I would do that.
I don't think they would.
I'd probably do it. I think I know what people are going to say. Sabonis sucks. He can't play in the playoffs and blah, 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 blah. I think it sort of represents something that Daryl did with Houston in that, like, he was making these lateral moves until he could strike again after the Yao Ming era.
For sure.
And I think, like, do you think you're going to win a championship with Sabonis and Maxey and Edgecombe and blah, blah? The answer is no. But the reality is that, like, will you be good enough to keep Tyrese Maxey happy until the next thing and keep it interesting until the next thing and keep your options open and you don't drain yourself of 100 first-round picks to do it? Yeah. I think I probably would. I like the idea of what's his name, Nick Claxton and Michael Porter Jr. better, but I think I would probably do this. Would you?
I think I would. Yeah, I mean, I'm not thrilled about Schroeder necessarily. He's got a 3-year deal. He'd be a fine backup. 3 years, 15 million. Sabonis also has 3 years. Embiid has an extra year. And Sabonis' contract is 15 million less per year. And Sabonis has been banged up for a guy that's almost always pretty healthy. Has played 60-plus games in every year of his career. He's been banged up this season, but just having him be like a guy who plays his fucking ass off and rebounds the hell out of the ball and has nice touch inside and can pass, like he would help with the passing a lot. He averaged 8 assists one year. Yeah, Sabonis.
Yeah, he's a good passer, good high post passer guy.
For
good
sure.
Low post passer
it could be
guy,
interesting.
yeah.
I mean, the defense would struggle on some level, but I do think the thing that MOC made a point of, and style is so unique now. If you have a unique style, if you have a unique kind of player, Halliburton made the NBA Finals and took him to 7 games. Took one of the best teams in recent memory to 7 games. And that team has now lost 1 game this year without one of their better players in Jalen Williams.
Yeah.
And that's just because Halliburton is like incredibly specific. And Maxey's good at different things and all that stuff. But there's something to be said about just like high motor playing very hard. And Sabonis is a high motor guy that plays very hard. He's not as athletic as you could tend to think for those high motor types, but there's something to be said for that. And you have Maxey and those guys. I don't know. I could see that Sabonis team if they gel, if people stay healthy, if you still have Paul George,
making a little run, making a season fun one year for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you probably do it. I think you might get burned on the McCain thing. But you might just go, hey, we're going to be a regular team.
Yeah.
Like we're going to be a regular team. Like Maxey, Grimes, Edgecombe, Paul George, Sabonis, with all the bigger wings, and maybe make a move for another like defense first guy. That you just sort of go, they have kind of a shot in the East with that team. And maybe that's aiming low, considering we've all been like, for 10 years, we've been doing hey, let's win a championship. Nothing else matters.
But it's realistic.
But we've lived those 10 years, and it's not worked out the way we wanted. So the idea of having I would say the team that would be was still a lot better than that 2012 team that I was so repulsed by.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't see the upside of that 2012 team at all.
Well, because this team would have a star on it. That team
This
did
team
not.
has a star on it. Maxey is better than as an offensive player than Iguodala, than Drew, than Thad, that kind of thing. And they would at least, the style of play that this team is playing with is different, is more interesting, and partly that's just because of the way the league went. But I think I'd probably do it, and that's a bummer. The question is, the thing I'm interested in, because that Clippers pick now is sort of like the most interesting thing the Sixers have.
The 29.
We'll talk more about it.
28, 29, 28.
Well, there's a pick and a pick swap.
Yeah.
And so the swap is really
29.
nice because you have that, and you can hold on to that and feel like, well, no matter what, we got this swap. So if the Clippers bottom out, then what a beautiful thing. And the pick is interesting because it's not just what's that pick going to be, but what's our evaluation of what that pick's going to be versus what different people around the league are willing to like short the Clippers. Evaluated as.
Wow, look at you using a financial term.
Oh, Mr. Business.
Yeah.
Mr. Business checking in. But so it's interesting if you can find somebody that really wants to bet against the Clippers.
Yeah.
They're bad right now.
Yep.
And they have the looming specter of this Kawhi aspiration stuff, which might further penalize them. Then that pick all of a sudden becomes like one of the more interesting pieces in the league. And do you do like, the Sixers don't have a draft pick in this draft. So can that pick count as almost like two picks, and you can get another pick back in a right now draft that like helps you, supplement what you got going on now, and rather than waiting for something in the future. I don't know. It's interesting. If someone would value the Clippers pick more than McCain, I bet you'd get different answers league wide. But just similar, I bet you'd find people that would love McCain.
Yeah, I think probably the Clippers pick. The thing about a pick is that a pick can be anything, whereas a player is specifically something.
Sure, it's the boat. It's the Family Guy boat.
Oh yeah, it could even be it could even be about, what is it, behind door number 2? It could behind door number 1 there's a boat, or whatever it is. Yeah, I know the joke you're talking about. So this came from the Ricky Reddit, but like it has been a larger conversation generally. I don't know if you and Chris talked about it after the Laker game, but McCain, I think, only played 13 minutes, so I would imagine there was some kind of convo. On the Reddit, it said, next pod, I need Spike to address what the hell Nick Nurse is doing with McCain's minutes. And I think it is probably, if this team sucked, I think Jared McCain would be playing 25 or 30 minutes a game without any problem. I think when you honestly watch Jared McCain, and me as a huge Jared McCain guy, you see it coming back, but you also see when it's not there. And I think the most obvious thing that isn't there yet, and remember, he didn't have meniscus removal surgery, which you can recover from in 6 weeks. He didn't have a meniscectomy. He had the repair, and the repair takes a while. He didn't play basketball for a long time. The thing that I think is really hurting his court time is that the handle is not quite there yet.
Yeah.
And I think most specifically, that's because he's not like a super fast guy. So a lot of his handle is like timing, and you can see when he's losing the ball more than he ever lost the ball last year. And I think what would be perfect for him is, we were talking, I forget which game it was, where there was 3 minutes in each half when neither McCain nor Maxey were on the floor. I think him being on the floor with McCain sometimes, but every minute with Maxey sometimes, but every minute Maxey's not on the floor, would be a very, very easy thing to do if he were Jared McCain. And he's a lot further along than where he was the first week of the season, or right when he came back.
Yeah.
But he's definitely not where he was last year.
No.
And I think Nurse, understandably, though not everything about Nick Nurse is perfect, Nurse understandably wants to win basketball games, and he sees McCain in there booting the ball, and he doesn't know exactly what his role is, which is something that you've talked about sometimes too. When he's on the floor with Maxey and Grimes, I mean, they're both confident and know what their role is, and they don't know what Maxey's role is. So I'm frustrated, but I'm more frustrated with the situation than I am mad at Nurse because he's not just playing him more. They have a very small margin for error winning basketball games. Every single one of their basketball games is a fucking 3-point game with 2 minutes to go. So I'm frustrated, but I think he'll get there. And I think when he gets there, it'll be undeniable and you won't be able to keep him off the floor. So,
yeah, I would love to get back to that point.
Yeah.
He hasn't.
He's not there yet.
No, he's not there yet. And it's easy. I have a bad memory. And so it's a little bit hard to remember the time when it was like that couple week stretch when you're like, oh, fuck. This could be like the guy.
Right.
People were talking about building around him and moving on from Maxey.
I saw it with my own eyes. It was wild. We'll know it when it's back, you know?
Yeah, because it's not back. It's not close. But you're always going to be at somewhat of a defensive deficit and an athleticism deficit and a speed deficit. That's the thing that Maxey had, was like he had so much more burst and explosiveness from the age that Jared is at. And Jared came out as a way better shooter for sure, and maybe a smarter player, Jared, than Maxey was at the same age. But Maxey's just gotten so much better. And that's a package that once you put the shooting onto the Maxey package, it's so good. You're not going to be able to put athleticism onto the McCain package. It just doesn't work that way. So I've always been a little bit lower on him than you are.
Yep.
Which is fine.
Yep.
And I would love for him to become just, I don't know, a more, give me a comp for what you see McCain becoming.
Like kind of player?
Yeah, but don't say Steph.
I don't think there's a lot of players like him otherwise. Like I truly don't. When I didn't know what Sam from Light Years meant when he said he was like a disciple of the Steph school of playing basketball, because I didn't know what that meant until I saw him doing it. I don't know if I could name another player who I think he is super similar to. I think there's maybe a little bit of CJ McCollum in there, but CJ McCollum's way better on ball than I think he is off, but he was able to play with Damian Lillard for so many years, and I think he was good at both. I think there is some of that, but I also think he moves in a way off ball that I never saw CJ McCollum move, and I think he has a sort of a vibe for the game that I never saw CJ McCollum have. So maybe somewhere in between, like if I'm not allowed to say Steph, I think there's some CJ McCollum in there, maybe, you know?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Could you see him if he had the keys to an offense and a quintessential rim rolling big? Could you see him doing some of the stuff that Trae Young does?
Oh, for sure. See, I think the one thing that is underrated about him is I think because he has such a good feel for the game, I think he's a really slick passer, and I always thought that was Trae Young's most underrated. Sort of, people talk about the shooting all the time.
That's Trae Young's best skill.
His
by
best
a lot.
skill.
It's not
yeah.
close.
Yeah,
he's
a sick passer.
Has Trae Young shot over,
35%? Yeah.
Right. I think he's.
Yeah.
I mean, some of it is shot selection, right? But I think he's overrated as a shooter, Trae.
Yeah, he's just got big balls as a shooter, and
he's a career 35% shooter from three.
Yeah. We'll finish this after we talk about Kornblau. The Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast brought to you by Kornblau Law. Now, here's the interesting thing, Mike. As we were talking, we got an email about Kornblau. This comes from, should I say his name? Sure, I'll say John. Spike, love the podcast. The collective gallows humor is how I've managed to survive the past 10 plus years. I actually don't know what gallows humor is. Mike, do you know what gallows humor is?
You never heard the term gallows humor?
I've heard it. I don't know what it means, though. I'm just being honest.
It means like when it's like an old fashioned term, when you're like about to get hanged the next day.
Okay. Well, then,
and you're all like sitting around in the dungeons and the gallows.
Okay.
And you're making jokes about your demise.
Okay. Well, then that is what this is. I wanted to shout out Adam Kornblau. We're dealing with our homeowner's insurance regarding property damage. I figured I should reach out to Kornblau Law. Maybe he'd give us a few ideas. My wife asked me as I'm writing the email, will this guy even respond? I assured her the power of rights to Ricky Sanchez, hoping I wasn't getting ahead of myself. I hit send on the email tonight at 8:03. He called me at 8:18.
Wow.
8:18. He wanted to talk to my wife and I through our options. He gave us several avenues to explore before we even need to retain his services. I was blown away. He is clearly the dude. Please continue to hype him up as much as possible. He was also watching the NBA Cup. Thanks, John.
Cup Kornblau.
Yeah.
Cup with a K.
Dude, that is what he's like. So, I've mentioned Kornblau Law a bunch of, he's been a Ricky partner for a long time. Send an email, kornblau@kornblaulaw.com, KORNBLAU. The phone number is 215-701-4467. Primarily personal injury, injured at work, medical malpractice, car accident, slip and fall, whatever it is. But this is how he is. You email him at 8:03 at night about a problem with your homeowner's insurance, and in 15 minutes, if you're a Ricky listener, he's getting back to you. He likes cases that challenge him. He is good. He is a bulldog, man. He will do the job for you. So if you've been hurt in any way, you think you might have a case, don't be a hero. Reach out to him. But also, if you need any other sort of legal advice, he will do for you what he did for John there. He really is the best. I like that I have him on my side and not on the other side. Again, if you need his services, kornblau@kornblaulaw.com or 215-701-4467. I also think, you talk about this will be the one guy. You said I'm not allowed to mention Steph when I mention what he plays like. This will be another guy that will keep getting mentioned a lot, like when you talk about Jared McCain and his upside, because you talked about the things that are limiting for him, which is natural, right? And then, but I would also ask, even if, and I think I was when he left Dallas, even if you were optimistic about Jalen Brunson, did anyone ever foresee Jalen Brunson becoming a top 12 to 15 player in the NBA? He's limited, he was a good shooter, not a great shooter, limited physically, good passer, not great passer, all those things, but in the right spot he did. And I think he's more talented than Jalen Brunson, to be honest with you. He's a different player. He's a very different player, but I think he could be a lead guard like Steph. I think the most notable thing about him, comparing him to Steph, aside from the off-ball stuff, is that I think he could be your primary ball handler without dominating the ball, which is, I think, one of the best quality Steph Curry has.
Well, that's Halliburton too.
Yes, it is Halliburton too. Yeah,
I love Halliburton. I love him at Iowa State. I love the way he plays. I would love if there was a little bit more Halliburton to McCain's game, a little bit more like young Lonzo to McCain's game, where it's just making audacious hit ahead passes.
Yeah.
That other guys kind of just don't make. If we can open that up. Right now it seems like just a little bit too much, mid-range. And that's the Brunson thing.
Yeah.
And I like him having that. And I like him having that bump into a little jumper at the nail or the elbow or whatever. But
I also think that's him right now too.
Yes.
I think you're skewed to him right now because that's a shot he can get,
Yeah. So we'll see.
Yeah. I'm still remarkably optimistic. The other thing I love about McCain, and I don't think you would get this just from watching him, just from convos I've had, is I think he's a real motherfucker.
He is.
In terms of competitiveness, in terms of confidence, those sorts of things. And I like that. He comes off as sort of, happy-go-lucky, whatever guy, but I think he's a motherfucker.
And that's the other thing about trading him now, rather than or making this Embiid trade now. You're just at a better position if you have to sweeten it. You're waiting until the end of the Embiid, another Embiid or Paul George year, right? So it's that's 1 year less that you have to pay someone to take on. And also, if you talk about what McCain's value is right now, it could be a lot higher in 3 months when he's further removed from that surgery. So that's another factor. I think generally, I don't believe that there is the move that allows this Sixers team to suddenly compete in a real way this year. And I would feel kind of stupid in a way that the Colts trading 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner and then Daniel Jones blowing his Achilles.
Yeah.
and Gardner like not even playing that much because he got hurt also. Going like, this is it. It's our time to do it. Go now. And then it ends up not being that.
Yeah.
And then you're just burned in a different way and you have fewer assets to trade. I think this year is it's VJ's first year. It's Maxey's first year playing like on a real basketball team as the number one option. Last year doesn't count. And we're feeling it out. There's a lot of things to feel out. I'm happy. And this is usually not the case for me. I'm happy to just like let this year play out.
I would agree.
And
deal with it in the offseason.
Hopefully they make the playoffs as like a 5 or 6 seed. Hopefully they win a round. I'm not going to do the hopefully health permits, but like let's see how far we can get on the Maxey thing, and then let's go into next season and assess who's got cap space, if we can trade somebody into them. If Paul George has settled into being like a regular, he plays 75% of the games type guy, and then we'll see what to do with Embiid.
Yeah, I would rather not do it this year unless a deal bowled you over and you're like, we can't pass this one up.
Yeah,
I think, which you're probably not going to get.
I don't think so. I think somebody will always beat you to it.
We got a concerning voicemail to 833 Lickface.
Just finished listening to the Mike and Chris Ryan hosted show. The ending, I think we need to ban Chris Ryan. Very simple. Mike asked him if he's down with TTP, and he responded, "Of course I am." That's not what you're supposed to say, Chris. I think we need to ban him, and he definitely can never host again. Thanks.
So he got the ending wrong, apparently. I did not listen, but he did get the ending wrong. Now, he does say he listens a lot, and I believe him when he says that.
Oh, he definitely does. But it's hard to fathom like being because I'm pretty much, I listen to either everything or nothing. Although I've gotten a little bit more healthy and mature about being like, I'm not going to finish this one. I'm like a little bit of a completionist in that way. And I think the way my life is right now, I've had to be like, nope, it's gone. And I've just, before I think about it, I'm just like, it's gone. I'm ripping the Band-Aid. I'm not listening to this, whatever. But it's hard to fathom.
He's recording a lot of podcasts.
Of course. And watching it on TV. Yeah. I love Chris, but it's hard to consider when me and you were doing this all the time.
Yeah.
It's hard to conceptualize someone listening to 60% of us.
Yes.
I don't know what 60% they've gotten.
Yes.
Maybe there's a 40% that I'm like, you're missing that, and you've essentially you don't know what the podcast is if you haven't gotten this 40%. If you're missing this 40%, that's crazy. And
I
especially
understand
like
you
listening
standing
to the
up
end.
for Chris here, but we have said at the end of every podcast for like 8 years.
But the end, that's a lot of podcasts to listen to. I listen to the end. I go all the way a lot of times with most of my pods that I'm religious about.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people go like, oh, I'll listen to the first. If I listen to the first 45 minutes, like I've listened to that episode, And if you listen to the 45 minutes or a half hour or sometimes 15 minutes, then you're like, yeah, I listened to some of it and they talked about this game or whatever, or they talked about this trade or whatever. But like to go all the way, that's a different kind of thing. And clearly Chris hasn't gone all the way. And that's on us to make him, to encourage him to go all the way.
Yes,
to encourage to finish all the way, to keep every single second of this podcast entertaining, where you just can't put it down. Like a page turner of a podcast.
I had to hear what was going to happen.
I had to. What are they going to say next?
Here's where I'm going to defend Chris. I will defend Chris, A, because I like Chris. B, because I feel like he's one person on the earth who has a similar taste in movies to me. But here's the most important thing. Was the A, 2, and 3 here. I don't remember this for sure, but I remember it 85% sure to be able to say it. Years ago, when Amos when I first met him, first entered the Ricky universe. I remember the Ricky Zone, Jason Lipschitz, did a very short profile on him for Billboard. It was mostly just about him liking basketball and liking the
Why
Sixers.
so short, Jason? Maybe get that word count up, bud.
Well, because I think it was about the Sixers and it was in Billboard, and it just because he wanted to write it as a passion project.
Yeah.
And I believe at the end of it, Jason asked Amos if he was down with TTP.
Yeah.
And he answered in a similar way. Now, I think Amos is a sicko now. I think Amos would get it right now. I know he would, but back then he didn't.
Amos banned?
Well, he's not banned, of course.
Amos banned for his sins of the past?
No, we can't ban Amos. We have to ban the song, whatever.
Amos Lee and Chris Ryan down on the gallows together?
Yeah, I think I think they went to the same school.
Interesting.
I think Chris Ryan I know he went to a friend's school. I don't know which one. I think they went to the same school because we're all the same age. I think they might have.
That's fair enough. Can we bring up this Yabusele question? Because I almost brought it up with Chris the other day, but I never got to it.
Yes, and then we'll end on platonic relationship advice because I promised and he might need it. And the Yabusele question, just so you know, I responded back to Josh and I said, I predicted how the conversation will go. So
what I'm about to say?
What we will both say. So
okay.
Yes, I want to see how close it is.
All right, let's see it.
So this is an email from Josh, writes to Ricky
Can you
Sanchez.
forward that to CJ? Can you forward your response to CJ right now? I'll read the question.
Yeah.
I'll read the email while you forward it to CJ. And then CJ, if you can pop up and sort of like nod if Spike is if I'm doing it. Obviously Spike is predicting his own response, so that's an easier one to do.
Yes.
But
well,
okay, so
most
here's
of
this
it,
from Josh.
Hold on. Most of it is my response to your response.
Okay, that's fair.
But CJ, let me know when you have it. I just
All right, so this is from Josh. Thinking back to how disappointed you were, especially Mike, that the Sixers did not end up re-signing Yabusele in the offseason. Would you prefer him and his production this year over either Barlow or Walker, each of whom is far less expensive than he is? It's a little bit different to say less expensive. He's just on a different kind of contract because they're on two-way contracts.
Yes. What is your response to that, Mike?
My response is, Yabusele has not been good. He hasn't been good with the Knicks. That is surprising to me. He's averaging 3 and 2. He's playing 10 minutes a game.
He looks like he's put on about 30 pounds, by the way.
He's shooting under 30% from 3.
Yep.
And he's 29 years old. He's not, when the Sixers got him, he was not like extremely young. And then I think you're right, Spike. So that's what I'm not saying. I'm not trying to prove you wrong. I'm trying to be myself, which is he is worse than I thought he was. And also they should have traded him at the deadline.
And now, okay, so I'm right. So now I will say, but we have no idea what the market for him was at the deadline.
Anything, literally anything at all.
And CJ, is Mike's response correct there too?
The second line is that he will ignore your question and then insist that you could have gotten something for him.
Anything. A second round pick. If we had a second round pick in this draft, the 2016 draft, which the Sixers have 2026 draft, which the Sixers have no picks on, if we gotten one, I would feel great about it. I'd feel great about the whole Yabusele experience. We would have crushed it. Instead, we held him on the team because they thought they could still make the play-in last year, which is an incredible sin, an incredible pot-committed sin that maybe that second round pick doesn't matter, and they clearly got Jabari and Dominic Barlow for nothing.
Yep.
But I want it. I want something to look forward to. It makes me happy to think about having a second round pick in this draft, and I am upset living my life knowing that the Sixers, as of now, do not have a second round pick in this draft, and they should have had one with a Yabusele trade, but they were still trying to make the playoffs last year when they were $4 and $1 million as a regular season team.
There
and
you go.
Spike did quote a second round pick
Yes.
in the email.
Yeah.
Look, I was answering it very honestly, and we've done 1 billion podcast minutes together, and I knew you were going to get it right. I knew you were going to be right. I wasn't trying to prove you wrong. I was trying to be myself.
Yes. I wasn't even going to tell you that. When I saw the email, I originally wasn't going to do it. Wasn't going to put it in the rundown because I knew how it was going to end. Yeah. But then I wanted to see if I was right about it ending, and now this is even funnier.
No, it's great. But like these are two things I'm admitting I'm wrong about, right?
Yeah.
Yabusele.
Yeah.
The Sixers haven't missed him.
Yep.
Although, I mean, he's still a good guy. I would like to have him. I'd rather have him than not.
But I'd rather have
Gordon.
Barlow. I'd rather have Barlow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Especially when they hopefully sign Barlow to some 3 or 4 year deal that is very team friendly and stuff, and him friendly because he gets to find a home here as a professional. I lost my train of thought. But
you said you're wrong.
Two things I'm wrong. That one, and then the Grimes thing. The Grimes thing has been good.
Oh yeah,
so
has been.
Those are I'm wrong, but, and so
Yes.
that's twice that I'm doing that. I'm wrong, but about Grimes. We'll see if they re-sign him, and I'm wrong, but about Yabusele, but they still should have traded him.
So we end on relationship advice. We're not going to play the relationship advice theme song from Eliza Hardy-Jones. We love Eliza of War on Drugs, but we get copyright strikes when we play it. So
they coming out with a new album soon? War on Drugs. I was wondering today.
I don't. as far as I know, they have not been recording anything. So they're playing the benefit shows that they always play at Johnny Brenda's later on this month. But I have not heard anything. I think I have not heard anything from it. So
I'm ready for one.
Yeah, it would be nice.
If that's what they were waiting for me to tell them that I'm ready for another album,
right?
Then yeah, I'm ready. I would like to have it.
I would like to have another album. It's really, my sense is like that's all Adam is like when Adam's ready to do it. I did like the
Adam, get the grapes out, babe.
Yeah,
let's go. Come back on. We'd love to have you.
Come on the pod. I really, 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 I like them a lot. I really grew to love I Don't Live Here Anymore. That album.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
it's really good.
It is a great winter album. When I'm taking my walks outside, it's a really good cold weather album.
Totally.
I
bought a War on Drugs sweatshirt.
Okay.
On Black Friday.
Oh, there you go. They were having a little sale there, 30% off or something. I saw.
And I got it. I took advantage. I was like, you know what? I would like to have a little bit of merch. I think it's my only piece of. I used to have more music stuff. I think I got rid of it.
Wow.
I think it's my only piece of music merch.
That's like almost my entire closet.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, I don't even like Springsteen. I'm wearing a Springsteen shirt tonight because I liked it. I don't even like Springsteen. All right, this came from Anonymous. Relationship advice song, Eliza Hardy Jones, Couldn't Leave You. All right, from Anonymous. You guys answered my platonic relationship advice a few months ago, and it was helpful. Back again because you and Mike are my most localized parasocial relationship and represent positive male figures in my life. If you don't answer this, I'm going to try and contact Joe Rogan. So we'll take care of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Long story short, I'm in my late 20s, almost at 30, and for some reason, almost all of my close friends have become harder and harder to contact. Be it all different reasons, moving across the country, getting married, just being lazy. I feel like I'm holding up 4 or 5 close relationships with just my efforts alone. I feel like this may just be a symptom of getting older and shedding relationships. I'm single and most of them are married, but I'm still afraid that at the end of next year, I may have lost many good friends completely. Any advice for dealing with this life phase? My rebellious side says, fuck them, let them miss you, but letting go is hard.
Yeah, man.
It's tough. That is tough.
That is hard. That is like kind of a phase of life when you're going from like, young adulthood, which I would include to be like, late teens to late 20s, basically, into when people start moving over to more real settling down stuff. But it's hard. I mean, it's definitely hard. And I think there's some folks that I've had when you can feel sort of something's like fading out, whether it's you wanting to fade out on somebody or them on you. But it's always hard. It's always really hard with friends like that. But I think you just try to keep staying active and finding new ways to like, somebody you work with or friend of a friend or playing basketball with somebody and joining a group that way. And I don't know, fucking trivia night, something like that. I think keeping it so that you're not stuck in like I'm just this couple people I'm like depending on so much. And
right.
as I'm like gripping so tightly, but it's hard. It's definitely a hard thing. And I think it's universal. If that helps.
And don't stay at home and become radicalized online. Have friends in real life. I think, so my life has been weird in that I talked to like one or two, Nick from college, but like how often do I talk to Nick? A couple people from college and a few people from high school, but I have had like different sets of friends I have a few that have lasted over the last 10 or 15 years, but
the cleaning person's about to come in.
What's
Sorry,
that?
I'm doing a podcast. I'll be done in a little bit.
Couple minutes.
Never done that before. Usually I'm trying to like motion off camera, but
no, it's
this
funny.
is just easier to say it sometimes.
It's non-game night pod.
It's a Sixers podcast. Rice Ricky Sanchez.
My advice would be don't take it personally. Life is hard when you're not seeing everybody every day and you're not living the same lives. My cadence has been, as that happens, when you see something that makes you think of one of those people, shoot them a text. And you might not be able to hang out as much. You might not be able to have convos, but it's important to keep the relationships alive if you can. Some fade away, but like there's always something that triggers something in my mind that makes me send a text to somebody to say, hey, remember this, even if you're not talking to them or hanging out with them. And to your point, make an effort to make new friends. It's tough. It's weird, but I think it's worth it, you know.
Keeps
and
it
don't
fresh.
take it personally. And don't just say fuck them. Like there's a huge world in between the rebellious side of fuck them and the thing that you want, which is for everything to be like it was 5 years ago. It's probably never going to be like it was 5 years ago, but also you shouldn't say fuck them. That would be my advice. CJ is a young adult.
Sometimes you just say fuck them though.
Yeah, well, sometimes, but yeah. CJ, any advice from you? As somebody who's that age?
I'm definitely at that point. Like a lot of my friends are now living in different parts and stuff, and like definitely hearing your advice. Don't stay online. Don't get radicalized online. Go out, do new things, meet new people, and yeah, I like the whenever you think about them, hit them up. That's a good piece of advice.
Yeah.
We are healthy male role models.
Yes, that's what we try to be.
If you're listening to this podcast, if you're one of the people that, unlike Chris Ryan, listens to 100% beginning to end,
even this part,
parasocial, even this part, 100%, then we are your mentors, I think.
On some level.
On every level, almost.
Yeah.
If
Oh,
you're
CJ's back.
listening right now, text a friend
Text a friend.
that you haven't talked to in a bit.
Text a friend.
Wow.
Yeah. Text a friend.
Look at that. CJ giving prompts, giving life advice.
Yep.
Why not?
All right. Well, we will talk to you this weekend. There will have been a Sixers game, but then there's like not another Sixers game for a whole other week after that. So we're going to have another of these weird ones over the week. Maybe we should try to get Jonathan Stewart, the former Carolina Panthers running back, on.
That'd be funny. That would be funny. Do we have time for the sickos? Do we have time for Mike recreational basketball advice or update?
I play like this. I don't play like that. When I play, I'm pretty intense.
Mike playing basketball.
I'm in my prime. Honestly,
Sign me.
What's the update?
Last game of the regular season, my Monday Night League, we were 6-3 playing the 9-0 first place team.
Wow.
I was working late. I got there at halftime. We were up. I changed into my jersey and take a pretty dangerous shit while the game was happening. And just a little update there. And came back in, and the deficit or the lead had shrunk. I come back in. We end up going to overtime. I didn't get to warm up. Didn't score in regulation. Had a 3 and 2 big free throws to tie it in overtime. We go to double overtime, despite the finger. Spike. Double overtime. Sudden death. And it was a very...
Sudden death?
Sudden death, double overtime, yeah. It's rec league basketball. They're trying to get you out of the gym.
Wow, the first basket wins?
Well, the overtime is 2 minutes.
Okay, so that's not sudden death.
And then double overtime is sudden death. It's like,
wow.
Anyone scores, get the fuck out.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine sudden death in basketball.
And our big won the tipped it to our guy, immediate hit ahead pass, very Lonzo-esque.
Okay.
Transition layup, game over, we win. Give
Whoa!
them their first loss. So we are the 2 seed in the playoffs, which are Monday. If we win, then we play in the championship the next one. So
wow,
that's good. Huge. I've won two men's league championships, 1 co-ed championship, and then coached 2.
Wow,
so this is going for 6. This is going for my number 6 championship.
Wow,
and I'd like to win it.
Wow, the Jordan-esque, doing what LeBron never could.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. I think LeBron would say that this counts. I think.
Yes, I think it counts.
And that was the night that the Eagles lost in overtime, so I missed the end of that game in order to win my own overtime game, which I was happy to. Yeah. It is 2023, by the way. The Eagles are 2023, and everyone just accept that they are going to lose by 1 million to the Bucks in the playoffs or whatever Bucks adjacent team that they play.
Are they going to beat the Raiders on Sunday?
I think they probably will in a way that nobody's happy about.
Yes, yeah. 17-9 or something like that.
Yeah.
20 to 12. Okay.
I'm calling the playoff loss 26-6. I don't know who they play yet, but I think I'm already saying 26-6, and I think that 6 is probably a touchdown with a failed 2-point conversion.
There you go. Feels like a Seattle loss, actually. Feels like it might be a Seattle loss.
If the Eagles make the playoffs,
yeah,
and you don't bet against them,
yeah,
and you're a person who bets, then that's a personality deficit. Right
and
there.
I give you a lot of, like, not credit's the wrong word. I put a lot of stock in what you're saying here, in that I was not completely out on the 2023 team.
Oh my God.
You wanted them all fired and traded.
Worst team of all time. Now they won the Super Bowl the next year, so that was fine.
Yes,
and now that's why this year I'm so healthy about my attachment to the Eagles, because I really have like matured and grown. It's unlike me generally, but the Phillies and Sixers have my angst and pain. The Eagles just don't have it anymore. They beat the Chiefs by $1 million in the Super Bowl after having won a miracle Super Bowl a couple years before, and so I feel completely at peace. That being said, they are a miserable team who will never beat anybody in a satisfying way anymore. Yeah. And you should bet against them and win money.
Yeah. Really miserable.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. I got to work today and I said to Jack, I was like, oh my fucking God, do we have to do this again? I love my job. Dude, I love my job. But
totally,
it's much better to be the hater guy when the team's good. Yeah. You know, because then there's a little balance. When everybody else is pissed off too. Yeah. All right. We'll talk to you this weekend. Are you down with TTP?
Yeah. Chris Ryan, lick face.